We got the Reloop Buddy. This controller is a great mid-range controller for the iPad. It has a built-in iPad stand. You just put your iPad into the iPad stand, plug it in. It has all the buttons, all the knobs you need, color changing pads. This controller is filled with features, but also is a nice small size. You could bring it with you. It doesn't weigh that much. It's a really great controller for doing gigs. The only thing that it is missing is a place for you to plug in a microphone. There is no way to plug in a microphone to this controller. The jog wheels work really well. It has paddle shifters, which resemble like old school battle mixers, which is really good for scratching and really good for setting effects. Also, the EQ section has a way for you to switch it to narrow mix. So instead of mixing with the lows, the mids, and the highs, you could be using narrow mixes with the bass, the drums, and the vocals. So it's really cool, and I believe that this type of controller is the future of DJing, and I'm really happy and excited to see if they come out with a new one anytime soon. All right, this next one has a special place in my heart, and that is the Numark DJ Pro. This controller came out all the way back in 2013, over 10 years ago, and this controller came out back when DJ Pro was DJ 2, and that's how I started DJing with my phone and my iPad and the DJ 2 app. So the fact that they came out with a full-sized, fully professional DJ controller that was integrated with the iPad and built specifically for the DJ software, this like blew my mind, and it was kind of expensive. I think it was close to $400 or $500, and back at the time, that was a lot of money to me. So I got the payment plan through the music store because I had to get this controller, and it was awesome. It was designed for the iPad to slide in the middle, making it kind of like a modern standalone controller like the Prime Go or the new Numark Mixstream. And you had everything you need right in the controller. You didn't have an iPad sticking up like you do with this Reloop Buddy. You didn't have to have a laptop. It was like a standalone unit, and it had professional connections for audio. You could connect the microphone. You could control the pitch of the microphone and the volume of the microphone. You had these full-size jog wheels that were really good quality. The mixer section and the volume faders were a little bit weird because they had to account for having a big screen in the middle. So instead of having volume sliders like we're used to with almost every controller now, it had these old school rotary knobs that I guess were good for hip hop, but it was really hard to do EDM mixing with it, and that was kind of annoying. The crossfader was really good, and like I said, the jog wheels were huge and they were really high quality. You had a filter, and then you had your mixers all the way at the top. So it had the lows, mids, and highs at the top of the controller. And overall, it was made out of metal. It was high quality. It felt like a real professional piece of music equipment. And it was a great controller. When you plugged it into the DJ app, it actually had its own, it would bring up like a new screen, like a new version of the app, and you could control the effects with the touchscreen. It was really ahead of its time, and I really wish they would make a second one. This is one of the controllers that I wish they make a new one where the iPad slides in. I guess it was hard because all the iPads are such different sizes, so this one really only fit like one size iPad well, and over the years, the connection for the iPad changed, so this had a built-in cable, so you couldn't take the cable out like you could with the Reloop Buddy and then just put a different cable to connect to a different device. What you had to do was you had a 13-pin connection built into the unit, and then you would plug that into the iPad. And then when it went from the 13-pin to the regular lightning cable, that the adapter worked. You could go from 13-pin to the lightning, and then it worked with the iPad. But now that it's USB-C, I was not able to find an adapter to connect a modern iPad with USB-C connection. And I tried all of the adapters, so I ended up selling this controller. I regret it a little bit, but It was a great controller and way ahead of its time, and I can't wait to see more controllers like this with the iPad integration. Next is the Pioneer DJ Wego line. This is a line of 4 controllers. The first one came out in 2012, the second one 2013, the third one 2014, and the fourth one in 2015. This was meant to be an ultra compact, user-friendly controller. It was designed to be different than most controllers. The way the buttons and the knobs were set up, they kind of went around the jog wheel, which really wasn't seen in any other controllers. And as the line progressed, it got more sleek and more streamlined. And by the time they got to the fourth one, it was an awesome controller. Super light, super portable. And the second, third, and fourth one featured a really cool iPad stand, so you could just set your iPad right there. You didn't need an additional stand. It had all the buttons and all the knobs that you needed. It was meant to be a beginner or a mid-range controller, so it wasn't a complete professional controller, but it was big enough to do what you wanted to do, and then small enough to be able to bring it where you wanted. It really brought DJing with the iPad to a whole new level, and I'm really excited to see if they come out with a Wego 5. I think it would be an awesome controller. But this is a great controller. If you could find one of them used, either the third or the fourth one, it's a great controller to have, and it really works well with the iPad. This is the Reloop Beat Pad 2. This controller came out back in 2013. They made a lot of different versions of this. This was another professional DJ controller made for the DJ app for the iPad. This is one of the best controllers for scratching with the iPad. In Djay Pro, they had a tutorial section where a DJ named Emma teaches you how to scratch using this controller. Those are the videos that taught me how to scratch. You could find this controller used. It is quite expensive. It's going used almost $700 or $800. This is a higher quality controller than the Reloop Buddy, even though it was released before it. It has a few more buttons, a few more knobs, and overall is a great controller if you can find one. The next one is the most expensive one on the list. This is the most professional DJ controller you could get with a built-in iPad stand. It has a 4-band EQ. It has booth outputs. It has all the connectability you would expect from an expensive club-ready DJ controller. And this controller is not really necessary unless you are a professional DJ that usually DJs with 3 to 4 decks. I would not suggest getting this controller as a beginner controller because you're probably not going to use all of the feature. But if you're really serious about DJing with the iPad and you're doing paid gigs and performing at clubs and stuff, then this would be the right controller for you. This is the controller, I believe, that DJ Arch Jr. used on Britain's Got Talent. It was either this one or the Mixon 4, which is similar, just only but is a little bit smaller and came out a little while ago. So this is the most expensive DJ controller with a built-in iPad stand. So thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions about these controllers, let me know. And if you found value in this video, subscribe to the channel and give it a like. Thank you.